You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells, the Who's Next Project. I don't know whether you've noticed or not, but professional politicians are ruining our lives. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to give you an opportunity to meet some of the people that you don't know very well running for public office. Tonight, we are looking at the race for the mayor of the city of Louisville. Last night we had John Garena on the air. Tonight, we are very, very honored to have Winston Edmondson, who is also running for the mayor of the city of Louisville. Sir, welcome to the Wells Report. Good to have you here.
Jon-David, I appreciate it.
Outstanding that you would be here. You are, before we go any further, a little bit of shop talk. You were a talk show host as well.
I did. This was actually my home. This is where I started. So it's been quite some time now, and of course it was called Case Guy back in the day.
Back in the old days.
But yeah, I started here on Sundays, the Innovation at Work radio show. It was a lot of fun.
What was the best part about it?
Well, my show was different than all the other shows. On Sundays, you had a lot of financial shows. You had a lot of people selling stuff, mortgage advice. My show was just about celebrating people that were doing amazing things. Who were the innovators in the community that we can bring on and kind of share what they're doing with the world. It was a lot of fun.
38 years old, you're a mover and shaker. You were the youngest banking manager to be hired at Nations Bank, which is now Bank of America from what I understand. And that's a pretty serious achievement.
Yeah, I got married young, 19, and just I've been working ever since. So started in banking, moved over to internet banking. From there moved into web development and innovation consulting. And then I got into the radio, been doing that for a while. And then I got back into innovation consulting. That's what I've been doing recently. I help businesses, sometimes with their social media needs, sometimes setting up websites, really whatever kind of problem they experience, I help them. What are some innovative ways we can overcome those challenges?
So why did you decide, take two, in English, thank you. Why did you decide to run for the mayor of Louisville?
Well, my degree is in government and politics from the University of Texas at Dallas. I've always been interested in politics and in liberty, and originally I thought about maybe going into a state or national role, but really government is important on a local level because that's where you have the most accountability. You can see what people are doing. You can quickly correct those challenges, and I wanted to be there kind of at the ground level and help my hometown of Louisville do some things that we really haven't been doing. As mayor, I've got some flexibility to do some things that I think will be pretty exciting to citizens.
Talk to me a little bit, all politics is local, obviously, but talk to me a little bit about, the actual office itself. Tell me about the office of mayor of Louisville.
So in Louisville, we have a city manager council form of government, which means the mayor is almost like a showpiece. He oversees the council meetings. That's important. He doesn't want people speaking over each other. So he presides over the council meetings, and then he has a ceremonial role. He is the ceremonial face of the city. So the face of Louisville is the mayor. So the ribbon cutting ceremonies and the things like that, where he needs to get out and be seen as the head of government. But really, if you really look at it, there's no power. There's no administrative function there. So a lot of people are confused by that. When you think of a mayor, you think of this all-powerful position that can, snap his fingers and make things happen. In Louisville, the mayor...
No, only the president can do that. He's got a pen and he's got a phone. So you don't have a pen and a phone at the city office of the mayor of Louisville then, huh?
The mayor just goes to the council meetings, he does his thing, and really in the past, he's done his job at the council meetings and then he goes home. I want to do more. In fact, you probably don't hear a lot of politicians saying, I want you to expect more from this role. I want you to hold this role, the office of the mayor, more accountable than you have in the past. So there's some things I want to do that haven't been done in the past, and I feel like once citizens see that in action, they're going to demand that, in the future of other politicians.
Talk to me a little bit about, so this is your first foray into elected politics. This is the first office that you've run for. Why not run for, say, for example, a seat in a district on the city council?
Well, if you look at it, the council actually is more powerful than the mayor because the council gets a vote. So if you were to look at it kind of from what is the hierarchy, the mayor is actually underneath the council. So, even though
which is always a dangerous place to be. I'm telling you, being underneath any city council is bad.
So in that sense, it's not as if I'm starting from the top. But further than that, the mayor has an opportunity to really reach out to the people, to bring them to the table. I mean, in Louisville, we have a 2% voter turnout rate. It's terrible. As mayor, there are things I can do to reinvigorate people, get them excited about living in Louisville, get them excited about participating in government. And with my set of skills and my media background, I think that lends to that role.
Winston Edmondson, our guest. He is running for the mayor of the city of Louisville on the Who's Next project. If you have a question, and a question only, you may join us at 866-660-5759. Longtime Louisville resident. You've been there all your life?
Not all my life. Let's see, I moved in '89, 7th grade, DeLay Middle School. Let me shout out to DeLay Middle School. Graduated from Louisville High School. So been there for quite some time. And it's, a lot of folks, some people talk about the challenges and they feel like moving away. But I hope, as I'm talking to citizens, I can kind of give them that hope about the direction that Louisville is moving. We've got Vision 2025 plan that is really exciting. A lot of great things there. As mayor, there's some things that I want to do that will help them have more access to the government and kind of have a voice. And so, I've been there a long time, and I hope folks will kind of remain committed and loyal to Louisville like I've been.
Let's talk a little bit about your work with the Louisville Independent School District. You were on the Communications Audit Committee, also the Superintendent Search Committee. Talk to us about how you find the Louisville Independent School District. What kind of shapes it in? What do you think you might be able to do to improve its circumstances in Louisville?
Certainly. Well, beyond those two, I was on those committees, but after that, we participated in something called the Strategic Design, and that's where we tried to rethink what education means today. I mean, we went from the very start, what is our mission statement? We spent just an exhaustive series of days. I believe it's about a 25-member panel that we just hashed it out, and we came up with a plan that's pretty exciting. It involves bringing the community into the equation. It involves the technology side, so that's why you have children can use their iPads in class and things like that. So there's some really exciting things that are taking place at LISD, and I was involved in that. So for folks that are concerned, I think really it's more about communication. Folks that maybe aren't aware of all the things that are in the works. And so as mayor, even though the city council is a separate entity completely from the school board, the mayor can play a role in that education process, in that communication. I can share some of the success stories and talk about things that the school is doing. One of the things I want to do is create a student leadership council where students can actually kind of have an active role within the government, talking to the mayor, letting me know from a young person's perspective, from our younger constituents, what are their concerns, what challenges do they see. And so, these are ways that, although separate, LISD and the council can work together.
We are speaking with Winston Edmondson, who's running for the City of Louisville Mayor's Office. Winston, let's talk a little bit about something that you brought up. Louisville, there seems to be a little bit of a split in Louisville. There seems to be a little bit of a difference of opinion with regards to the direction of the city. How do you plan on bringing all that together? How do you plan on getting everybody behind you to try to perhaps make Louisville a better place to live?
What I've found, a lot of people are concerned because they feel like no one is listening. People don't care about what they're experiencing. I've ridden around with folks in Old Town Louisville, and they've showed me areas that are just falling apart. And our code enforcement, they say they're not addressing it, and they don't know who to talk to. They've sent in requests, and no one's listening. So I feel like having someone to represent the people is really what's needed to kind of get everyone on board. So as mayor, one of the things I want to do that hasn't been done in Louisville, I don't think it's ever been done, not recently in any case, but open office hours where for scheduled times, at the beginning maybe twice a month, but if it's popular, we'll do it more. I'll be in the office at City Hall. Folks can stop by without an appointment and talk to the mayor. They have something on their mind. They have a great idea they think would be great for the city. Come talk to the mayor. you have a complaint, you've seen something that just is infuriating you, come talk to the mayor. As the mayor, I can't just, make that go away, but I can bring it before the council. I can make sure it's addressed. I can keep bringing it up and making it part of the public record so folks can see if it's not getting addressed. Okay, these are the council members that are kind of dropping the ball. But as the mayor, I want to partner with the people. I want to be the voice of the people, which is kind of a different stance than you've seen. A lot of folks kind of feel like it's us versus them. Well, if that's the case, I want to be on the side of the people, and it'll be us versus them. I'm going to represent them.
There is a stark problem in America's immigration system. People are circumventing it, the rule of law being set aside. How do you balance the needs of illegal immigrants in the city of Louisville with the fact that there are a lot of people in Louisville that would like you to pursue the rule of law? How do you balance that?
Well, with the rule of law, there are things that can be done that in the past, our city council and the city attorney at the time said that they can't be done. Again, my degree's in government politics, and so I can show them and teach them. In the past, I've written articles. Look, you've got this area that has day laborers, and it's a concern because you've got people that are driving through the parking lot. They're just going shopping. They park, and before you know it, people are jumping in the back of the truck. They're jumping in the passenger seat. I spoke with a woman that was just frightened out of her mind because she pulled into a 7-Eleven and someone jumped. Thought she wanted to hire them, jumped in the passenger seat. Unacceptable. And for the longest time, the city said, "Oh, there's nothing we can do." Well, I showed them that there's actually something we can do. That what they're doing, that solicitation, that is not allowable. That is, in our zoning, that is not a behavior, a business practice that is allowable. So we can hold the property owner liable and say you're violating our zoning, and we can fine you. And if you don't want to be fined, here's what you can do. You can put up a no trespassing sign and then call the cops. So there are things we can do to address some of these areas that haven't been done. The same thing with housing. You've got some houses that have family members with 10 to more than is allowable, and that's dangerous. That's dangerous from a health perspective. That's how diseases are transmitted more easily when you have this packed house. It's dangerous from a fire perspective, and so there are things we can do to monitor and address those things.
What would you do about an entire family living in one house?
Well, if it's illegal and it's reported, and again with open office hours of the mayor, sometimes folks are hesitant about who should I talk to about that, but they can come talk to the mayor, and we can address it with. In that case, it would be code enforcement in conjunction with the Louisville Police Force would be able to go in and address that.
Would you, say, for example, be supportive of the Louisville Police Department being able to stop people and ask them about their citizenship?
Just at random, to stop anyone and ask them about?
Well, I mean, if say, for example, they're in the midst of, say, for example, a traffic stop, is it okay to inquire about their citizenship?
I think it would be okay to ask for their identification. I mean, I don't know what aspect of their citizenship, I guess, I'm not sure exactly what the purpose of that would be. Getting their information, finding out if they're who they say they are and what issues there are, legality, have they broken any laws? That definitely I think they can and should be doing.
We are speaking with Winston Edmondson. He is running for mayor of the city of Louisville. He's asking for your vote. You can go to electwinston2015.com, all one word, all lowercase, electwinston2015.com. And if you have a question, 866-660-5759. Remember, a question only. For Winston Edmondson, you are welcome to join us here on 660 AM The Answer. This is the Who's Next Project. Who's running for public office, and why should you vote for him? We continue our conversation with Winston Edmondson next on the Wells Report. You are listening to the Wells Report, the Who's Next Project. Winston Edmondson, our guest. He's running for the mayor of the city of Louisville. I keep saying Louisville. I don't know, because maybe the Kentucky Derby's next week. Whatever. Hey, I wanted to ask you about something. You went to Louisville High School. There's a sign out in front that was photoshopped calling out one of your opponents, John Garina, about participating in a forum. Okay? Now, he wasn't able to get his scheduling done. He suggested some other dates. You weren't able to accommodate that schedule, and what happened was a provocative sign. This forum is canceled unless John Garena agrees to participate. It's all or nothing. So, very quickly, is there a place for negative negative campaigning, or do you consider that negative? What do you think? Very quickly.
Yeah. Well, I don't really consider that negative. What happened was the school had 2 dates that were available in the middle of the day, actually. Now, the mayor, part of his role is these ceremonial duties. So if the mayor can't get out and, let's say, do a ribbon cutting, what does that say? So I fully expected all 3 candidates to be able to go to those. 2 of us were, John wasn't. So I thought that was important to point that out. Either A, could he adjust his schedule, which he should be able to do if he's going to be the mayor with these ceremonial duties, or B, is he purposefully skirting this and not wanting to go to the forum, which would be such a great opportunity for these students?
Now, let me ask you one thing. In 2.5 seconds or less, why should people vote for you?
Well, sure. I think people should expect more from the mayor. Who says that? I want people to expect more from the mayor. I want them to come at the mayor and say, you said you were going to be my voice. You know, the other candidates aren't doing that. They want to do what they've always done, which is you preside over the meeting, you go home. I'm not ready to go home. I want to get out and talk to the people. I want to make sure their needs are met. It's pretty uncommon. I want more accountability on my position, the role of the mayor. So that's pretty unique.
His website, electwinston2015.com. Winston Edmondson, thanks for being on the Who's Next project.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Back with more of the Wells Report in just a moment.